Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook on Monday the 19th of August. It's pretty much more of the same across western Scotland in particular for the rest of this week as Atlantic weather systems come in on southwesterly winds, which will strengthen to gale force at times through the second half of the week. Now, high pressure keeps tentatively trying to build from the south, but I think the best description at the moment for the upcoming weekend is rather mixed, which admittedly sounds a bit of a cop-out because it covers most bases, but I think that's almost where we are. There may be one day or two that's better, and still always the risk of rain or showers never too far away in the next 10 days or so. Total rainfall looking like this. This is through until Saturday. Heaviest falls across western Scotland up to about Skye and Torridon. Couple of inches of rain, 50 mil, and over the hills with the damp southwesterlies in charge, you could find that the orographic effects as the rain or the wind runs into the hills just enhances the rainfall. So 75 mil or more is still possible over those western mountains over the next week ahead. Still some rain to come. Dumfries and Galloway and the Lake Districts, comparatively lower totals for Wales and much of the Pennines, and equally eastern Scotland seeing relatively lower rainfall totals. Looking through the charts for the days ahead, Tuesday is comparatively one of the better days for many places. There's still a trail of an old front that's still in place across southwest Scotland and northern England, which will just be a nuisance for giving areas of showers, which could be rather hit and miss, but in some places slow to move about and could give rain at least on and off for a few hours across the southern uplands and across the Pennines through the middle of the day. Largely dry for Wales, just watching what comes across from the south of Ireland as the next warm front approaches. It may be that drizzly rain comes in to the southwest here across Wales through the day. For much of the Highlands, you'll get away with a generally dry one with quite light winds as the pressure pattern is slack through the day. One or two showers can't be ruled out, mostly across central western parts of the Highlands. We're looking back to the Atlantic though for incoming weather systems through into Wednesday. A warm front will have passed northeastwards, which will give a more humid feel for many, and that will put low cloud down onto most of the hills. Patches of rain and drizzle here and there, and the odd heavier burst can't be ruled out, although in many places amounting to very little much of the day. Northeast Scotland doing the best, equally the Borders and Eastern Pennines not too bad. But as the next front comes in from the Atlantic, that's got a bit more substance on it, and some heavier rain will develop as the day goes on for western Scotland, and that rain may well encroach onto western coasts of England and Wales before we get to Wednesday night. Now that mostly fades and moves through the night into Thursday, and then it's still a southwesterly conveyor belt that's coming in off the Atlantic. Detail is quite sketchy, just how these next fronts behave, but it looks believable that some further spells of rain come in, focusing more on western Scotland, with the risk of setting in and becoming heavy at some point during Thursday. The risk of gales, again, timing is uncertain. It may well be that it's a blustery day all the way through, but gale force winds are likely to develop at least through part of the day. Low cloud covering most western hills, best chance for staying driest and brightest more towards the east. Confidence much lower as we end the week. High pressure is to the south, low pressure is towards the north, and there's a front that's trailing back across the British Isles, and it's still a southwesterly conveyor belt. Now exactly where that front sits will dictate who gets the most of the rain, and it could still be that it runs into western Scotland with most of it. Drizzliness, bit of low cloud across western hills of England and Wales, just depends again how near that front is. The wind likewise will vary, it just depends how the pattern is organised by this time. Possibly strong for a spell, there may just be a bit of a lull, keep an eye on your details. Naturally, with lower confidence Friday, Saturday's not going to be any easier. It looks as though something of low pressure in fronts is trying to pass eastwards towards Scandinavia. A hint of pressure building behind that, which may be good news as the weekend develops, although some indications would start to bring something more back again off the Atlantic by the time we get through to Monday. Bank holiday across England and Wales, of course, so we'll watch that one carefully and we'll update you in the next video later in the week. So quite tricky as we head through the weekend and just beyond for absolute detail. This is the sequence then onwards into next week, and not all the models in full agreement. One or two see the extension of the Azores high starting to build towards us with a bit more strength. A few models are more pessimistic and hang on to the southwesterly flow across the northern half of Britain at the very least. We may end up somewhat in between, where it's still at best described as mixed across the Highlands, more often drier, warmer, and with some sunshine across England and Wales as higher pressure is nearer to this part of the world. There's a chance that we get 3 or 4 days pretty decent weather out of next week, but especially across western mountains in Scotland, I wouldn't promise too much too soon. Even toward the start of September, there's low pressure systems threatening over the Atlantic, which may come back in. So we'll see how we go. We'll update you for the extended weekend outlook later on this week. Stay right up to date every day with your forecast for your local area on our website, and you can follow us on all the social media feeds as well. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.